You know, sometimes the most profound ideas are wrapped up in the simplest images. And that's exactly what we find in the biblical text of John 15. It's this beautiful, powerful metaphor about a plant, but it's packed with so much meaning about connection, growth, and purpose. So today we're going to dive in and really unpack the meaning behind the vine and its branches.
Right off the bat, the text gives us the whole setup. It lays out the central image. Jesus is the vine, that's the source of life. The Father is the gardener, the one tending to everything. And the followers, well, they're the branches. This one idea is the foundation for everything else we're about to explore.
So what's this all really about? I mean, this isn't just a lesson in ancient farming, right? It's a framework for something much deeper. What can the relationship between a vine, a gardener, and its branches teach us today? Well, the first lesson is the most fundamental one of all.
All right, first things first, the number one rule of this whole metaphor, the absolute bedrock of it, is the necessity of connection. Because without the vine, a branch is really just a stick waiting to dry up.
And the text couldn't be clearer about this. A branch's entire potential, its ability to be productive and do the one thing it's meant to do, which is bear fruit, comes directly from being attached to the main plant. It's not about the branch trying harder on its own, it's all about staying connected to the source.
And really, it boils down to two very different paths, two completely different outcomes. On one hand, you have the connected branch. It's getting life from the vine, it's producing fruit, it's fulfilling its purpose. But the severed branch, it's cut off from that life source. It withers, gets thrown away, and as the text says, it can do nothing. The contrast is just stark.
Okay, so staying connected is key. Got it. But that's only part of the picture. The gardener's role introduces something that honestly can feel a little strange at first, this whole idea of pruning.
So before we go any further, let's just be super clear on what we mean by pruning. This isn't just random hacking away at a plant. Oh no. It is a deliberate, strategic act. A skilled gardener trims things back to get rid of what's not needed, all to make the plant healthier and way more fruitful.
And this is where it gets really interesting. You've got to understand, being cut off is totally different from being pruned. The unfruitful branch, the one doing nothing, it gets removed completely. But a branch that's already bearing fruit, it gets pruned, not as a punishment, but to unlock even more potential. The goal is always more fruit, not less.
So think about it this way. Those times in life when you feel like you're being trimmed back, the challenges, the hard stuff, maybe it's not a punishment. Maybe it's the gardener's careful hand, preparing you, shaping you, for a future with way more abundance.
Okay, so this raises a huge question, right? We keep talking about bearing fruit and being pruned to bear even more fruit, but what is this fruit anyway? What are we actually supposed to be producing here?
And you don't have to guess. The text tells us exactly what it is. The number one fruit, the ultimate goal of this entire beautiful system, is love. And it's not some vague, abstract idea. It's a direct command: love each other, in the exact same way the source has loved you.
But that's where the real world kicks in, isn't it? I mean, how are we supposed to actually do that? How do you love people when it's just hard? This is where the theory hits the pavement, and it's a question the source material really wrestled with. Well, the answer we find in the text is that you can't do it on your own. It's not about mustering up more love from inside yourself. It's a flow. Step 1, stay connected to the vine. Step 2, receive that love, that strength from the source. And only then, step 3, can you share it with others. Love flows through you. It doesn't start with you.
And when you have this kind of deep connection, something incredible happens. The relationship itself, it changes. It evolves into something much, much deeper. It's a total identity shift.
Think about the difference here. A servant, they follow orders, right? They do their duty. But they don't really know the bigger picture, the why. But a friend is on the inside. They're brought into the inner circle. They know what the master's doing, and even more importantly, they understand the master's heart. It's a huge shift from duty to deep personal intimacy.
And then comes this line that just changes everything. I no longer call you servants, instead I have called you friends. Wow. The relationship is transformed. It's not a distant hierarchy anymore. It's a friendship. For one of the speakers in our source material, this was an absolute game changer.
All right, so let's pull all these threads together. What's the bottom line here? When you step back and look at this whole picture, what are the key things to take away from this incredible metaphor?
Let's break it down.
First, your real strength doesn't come from you, it comes from your source. Second, real growth often involves some pruning. Those tough moments are there for a reason. Third, the whole point of it all is to produce the fruit of love. The relationship isn't about being a servant, it's about being a friend. And last, but maybe most importantly, remember that apart from the vine, the branch can do absolutely nothing.
And that's really the question this whole passage leaves us with, isn't it? No matter how you approach this text, the core principle is universal. It makes you ask yourself, what is my vine? What is my ultimate source of life and strength and purpose? And what does it actually look like day to day for me to stay connected to it? That's definitely something we're thinking about. Thanks for joining me.